One ferocious roar, and the entire jungle shudders. Tiger, the big cat, whose terror reflects in the eyes of every animal in the jungle. This largest and powerful cat species is known for its piercing focus and a swift ambush on its prey. Today, the tiger is not only the national animal of India, but also the pride of Indian culture. However, sadly much, the tiger is also the most endangered species in the 21st century. Rapidly shrinking forest covers, human settlement on forest land, and the danger of being poached are posing a threat to the existing flora and fauna. Today, the world population of tiger is less than 6,000. As per the census report of the year 2018 released by Government of India, the All India Tiger Estimation Report, only 2,967 tiger were estimated to be found across the country. To curb the declining tiger population and to protect the natural habitat for other wildlife, the IUCN and Maharashtra Forest Department launched a special project called Integrated Habitat Conservation and Eco-Development in the Vidarbha tiger landscape. Vidarbha is situated in the heart of India. This region in central India connects the forests up north and those down south, thus making Vidarbha an obvious choice to set up this vital and significant project. This project has already sowed the seeds of wildlife and habitat conservation in many villages of Vidarbha, and we look forward to grow our efforts progressively and sustainably to reach out to more remote rural areas and help them develop so as to bring them into the mainstream. With this endeavor, IUCN envisions a greener and safer flourishing natural habitat for future generations of wildlife and mankind alike. Vidarbha tiger landscape consists of 7 tiger-bearing protected areas: Tadoba Andhari Tiger Reserve, Melghat Tiger Reserve, Pench Tiger Reserve, Bor Tiger Reserve, Navegaon Nagzira Tiger Reserve, Umred Karhandla Wildlife Sanctuary, and Tipeshwar Wildlife Sanctuary. 5-year data of Maharashtra Forest Department indicates that most of the human-tiger conflicts occur in the fragmented landscape, which has larger dispersal of tigers from core and buffer area into these corridors, which have shown increased presence of tiger and several other species. Brahmapuri is most highly affected man-animal conflict area of Chandrapur Circle. This is a part of vital corridor from Tadoba Andhari Tiger Reserve to Umred Karhandla Wildlife Sanctuary and Tadoba Andhari Tiger Reserve to Nagzira Navegaon Tiger Reserve.
The Integrated Tiger Habitation Conservation Project is being funded by the IUCN and it is implemented in the Vidarbha landscape of Maharashtra. Apart from the first department, it is also being implemented by 12 NGOs. The basic objective of this project is to develop the areas beyond the protected areas and more specifically the corridors which allow the free movement of the tiger from one protected area to other protected area. The IUCN project is pioneer wherein the activities are concentrated in the territorial tiger areas instead of tiger reserves.
The core objectives of this program being is to reduce man-made stress on the environment, to minimize man-animal conflict in coexisting habitats, to promote wildlife protection measures, and to create awareness among people regarding wildlife conservation. All the tiger corridors of Vidarbha region are covered under this project. Amelioration meetings are conducted in villages where villagers are made aware of matters relating to animals unknowingly trespassing into villages and sometimes even into homes. In one such meeting, for instance, they were told about how a pregnant bear took shelter and delivered her cubs in a village headman's house. Sensing danger and threat, the scared headman, along with the villagers, were almost on the verge of killing the bear and its newborn cubs. However, the rapid response team, to not only save the animals but also to pacify and sensitize the panicked villagers about the situation. thereafter immediately rescued the animals and left them in their habitat.
Under the IUCN program, we have worked in 60 villages which are situated in the Brahmapuri landscape. Mitigation of this conflict is being done through creation of primary response teams in these 60 villages.
The primary response team includes volunteers from villages who are trained to handle human-animal conflict situations before the forest department arrives. They are the first responders to any kind of wildlife threat in the corridor. As soon as they receive an alert on an animal's presence or activity, they promptly set off on a trial. They are trained to identify animal signs and are provided with necessary equipment. They work in liaison with the range forest officers to caution and alert the villagers, control crowds, and provide first aid in case of any untoward incident. The formation of primary response team in various such territorial areas has significantly reduced illegal poaching of other wild animals too by almost 70%.
Brahmapuri Forest Division has 1200 square kilometers of forest, and it forms an important corridor with respect to the dispersing tigers from Tadobandhari Tiger Reserve to NNTR, and it further connects to Kanha in Madhya Pradesh.
The Brahmapuri forest landscape, thus being of significant importance, is under constant surveillance and vigilance. Camera traps are set up to keep a close watch on the presence and movement of predatory animals. Such a close surveillance also enables to record any change in the behavior pattern of the wild. M-Stripes is a software-based monitoring system. Forest guards in tiger reserves are equipped with personal digital assistants and GPS devices to capture data relating to tiger sightings, deaths, wildlife crime, and ecological observation while patrolling. Use of the system in various tiger reserves is reported to have resulted in a significant check in anti-forest and anti-wildlife activities.
So under this ITHCP project, we have created 3 RRTs, that is the rapid response teams, who have been working along with the forest department as an extended arm, where they are addressing the conflict situations with the people.
Rapid response team comprises of trained personnel dedicated full-time to swiftly tackle crises during conflict situations. RRT vehicles are equipped with tranquilizer gun, trap cages, camera traps, nets, and public announcement systems. The team comprises of a veterinarian doctor who administers appropriate dosage of tranquilizers and attends to the medication and treatment of injured animals. A biologist who is trained in the animal behavior pattern closely observes any deviation in the animal's behavior at the spot of conflict and guides the team with appropriate course of action to be taken for its capture or rescue, and a trained sociologist for crowd control and community engagement during conflict situations. Spotting and capturing wild animals that get camouflaged in the jungle foliage is a task exclusively handled by the rapid response team. Along with capturing the wandering wild beasts, the RRT also rescues wild animals in distress, and once rescued, they are then set free in their habitat. Animals like nilgai, tiger, sambar, spotted deer, and snakes have been rescued in similar situations and released into the forests. To tackle crop depredation by wild animals, villages near forests were provided with solar fence, chain-linked fence, LED fox lights, and acoustic device to farmers as to protect their farmlands by Maharashtra Forest Department and NGOs, where chain-link fence and solar fence showed very effective result in reducing crop damage. There are many instances of wild animals trespassing into villages in search of food or in search of hideouts. At times, they even find their way into people's houses. Capturing and rescuing animals in such situations is not only a serious risk to human life, but also a very challenging task. Animals found in distress are mostly injured with serious wounds and require special care and treatment. They are given all the necessary medication and are sent into the habitats only when they are fully recovered or when they can rehabilitate themselves upon medication. The IUCN project has proved to be very beneficial for all the villagers in and around the buffer zones. Frequent awareness sessions on man-animal conflict are conducted for villagers. Many a time, due to construction infrastructure like roads or railway tracks passing through the villages and sloped canals, animals become victims of mishaps during nights and are found gravely wounded or dead the next morning. In such situations, rescued animals, even showing slight chances of life, are immediately taken to treatment and rehab centers for dedicated care and medication. Rehab centers breathe a new life into them. Most of the wells in villages are uncovered or do not have parapet walls, resulting in animals accidentally falling into them, mostly during night. The trapped animal, if sighted by local villagers, gets pelted by stones or poked by sharp weapons, leading to its death or severe wounds. Hence, along with the rescue and relief of the trapped animals, NGOs and the Forest Department also undertakes the responsibility of covering the existing wells in villages and building parapet walls wherever necessary. Around 1,000 villagers adopted under this project have discovered new means of livelihood. Village youth are given guidance and training in car driving and various employment opportunities. Through Pratham, young girls and boys of these remote villages are professionally groomed and trained in housekeeping and catering in view to make them employable in the wildlife tourism and hospitality sector. Basic computer training and classroom lessons are given to boost their confidence and skills.
माझं नाव चंदा गायधनी, मी या गावची सरपंच. माझ्या गटाचं नाव आहे गायत्री महिला बचत गट व आमच्या गटाला त्यांनी वेगवेगळे प्रशिक्षण दिले व याच्याने आमची आर्थिक स्थिती पण सुधारली व आम्ही याच्यामुळे आम्ही घरी बसल्या रोजगार पण करू शकतो व आम्ही आमचं वन्यजीवांसोबत आमचा संपर्क पण कमी झाला व आम्ही शेतात किंवा जंगलात न गेल्यामुळे आमचं त्यांच्यावर हल्ला होण्याची पण स्थिति कमी झाली.
मेरा नाम शारदा कांसदेकर, मैं चौरागुंड गांव की रहने वाली हूँ और मैं WRCS में 2.5 साल से काम करती हूँ. मेरे पहले प्रशिक्षण हुआ हैंडीक्राफ्ट में और उसमें हम अलग अलग प्रकार के वस्तु बनाते हैं वन्य जीव पर.
मेरा नाम जितेंद्र अधिकार, मैं ये गांव का रहने वाला है और मेरा 26 जन का टीम है और गए साल मेरा प्रशिक्षण हुआ.
Bamboo craft, bangle making, detergent making, mushroom cultivation, and many such livelihood alternatives for villagers in the territorial areas. Women self-help groups are provided special training in making paper and cloth bags. Right from choosing the appropriate quality of cloth to screen printing on it and then tailoring them to suit their purpose. Women are hands-on every aspect of bag making. Eco-friendly bags of various kinds, especially shopping bags, have a huge demand in the urban markets, thus making this a simple and productive venture. Sustainable collection of NTFPs, organically procured, processed and handmade organic products have now found way into the nearby markets. Humble farm produce finds its way into becoming a variety of herbal products with nature's own benefits. Nutritious and healthy products like neem powder, neem juice, maua juice, ambadi juice, jams, pickles, and herbal products like incense, soaps are made by the self-help group women. Rural women have discovered many such innovative ways to be creatively and financially independent. Maua cookies, for instance, is a rare food product which is being made by our self-help groups. The IUCN project not only trains villagers and the self-help groups in alternate livelihood, but also facilitates the marketing. One such facilitation venture is Nisarg Stores. Traditionally used firewood got replaced with clean fuel in village homes. Improved cook stoves were distributed in some villages. which consumes less firewood and emits very less smoke as compared to the old chulhas. Some households were also provided with LPG connections under various government schemes. As a result, as many as 67 villages adopted clean fuel as a substitute for otherwise used firewood, which brought down the consumption of wood by almost 30%. This in turn reduced perilous conflicts between man and large carnivore by 40%. Wildlife comes alive on village walls in the form of artistic and colorful paintings. Habitat improvement drive are carried out on a regular basis where tree plantation results in soil conservation, restoring water bodies by desilting method, and removal of lantana. Forest fire has been a major problem in these areas as the dependence of people over here is mostly on the tendu and maua collection. To reduce this, the project also spreads awareness on nature and wildlife conservation among school children through various engaging activities. Various capacity building workshops have been organized for the forest officers and other departments to understand the scale of wildlife trade, impacts of wildlife trafficking, protocols to be followed during investigation, and anti-snare drive. Students of standards 6 to 9 are being educated to 2-year environmental education program in Ashram Shalas of Melghat by WRCS with the hope that environmentally aware students will help to conserve those regions in long term. As per the outcome report of the IUCN project by Maharashtra Forest Department, more than 1,000 people were provided with alternate livelihood, reduced fuel wood consumption in 67 project villages by 30%, reduction of adverse impacts of human large carnivore conflict by 40%, reduction of poaching and wildlife crimes by 70%, capacity building and focused sensitization in 85 selected villages, increase in water availability in wildlife habitat, quantification of ungulate assemblage, density and tiger number.
Implementation of the project made considerable impact on reducing the man-animal conflict, improving the wildlife habitat as well as creating livelihood opportunities to local people and reducing their dependency on forests, thereby resulted into peaceful coexistence of people and the wildlife and mitigating man-animal conflict. Considering the success of the project, it needs to be sustained in future and to be replicated in other area of states.